Hi, I'm Celia Walker. I work at the Devonport Museum, which is a very small museum that's largely run by volunteers. I'm the only paid staff member, and I'm called the curator, and I'm here for 8 hours a week. And we just are a community museum focusing on the history of Devonport and our marine suburb. We applied for some funding from Te Papa for our costume and textile collection to store them in proper archival boxes. So it was basically to pay for the boxes from conservation supplies, ranging from small boxes like this to large coffin boxes for big garments. Well, the importance of the project for Devonport Museum was that we have very little money, and the boxes themselves are very expensive, so we couldn't really justify buying them without a grant to pay for it. And before we got them, the collection was stored in all manner of old cardboard biscuit boxes and anything you can think of, stored very badly, so it will make a huge difference to the long-term protection of our objects. The process of applying for the grant was fairly straightforward. We just had to justify what we wanted it for and outline a budget for the project, which was quite easy in this case because it was quite an obvious set amount that we needed, and it was easy to get the prices and work it all out when we applied. We quite often apply for grants, this organisation. I personally have been involved with a few other small grant applications for different projects from the council and from Rotary. And this Te Papa grant was actually a bit more straightforward. We didn't seem to have to provide quite as much paperwork as some other grants, and some of the council ones tend to be quite complicated and have to list strategic outcomes and who the stakeholders and who's going to benefit from the grant, and a lot of quite complicated networks and things that you have to think about when you're applying. So this one was actually easier, partly because of what we were actually asking for. The project came together quite quickly once the funding was approved, because it was just a matter of sending off an order for our boxes and then getting to work packing up our objects. But although that in itself takes time to achieve, because we had to link up all the records on our database and make sure we'd accessioned them properly into their boxes as they went in. So that has actually taken a few months to do, especially because I'm only here part-time, but it was fairly simple to actually achieve what we said we were going to achieve. For our organisation of this project has been, it's a transformation of our costume storage. It was quite chaotic and hard to work out where everything was, and now, because I've gone through and listed everything that's in the boxes as I've packed them up, it's be much easier in the future to find anything in our storage area, and they're all stored nice and safely and wrapped in tissue, and will hopefully be well looked after for quite some time. My tips for making a successful grant application are to have a very clear idea of a fixed project that has sort of definite boundaries, so you're not just saying we want to improve our storage, but you focus on a particular area, and especially in relationship to how much money you can get from the grant, and be very clear with your budget of what you're actually going to spend the money on, so it's easy for the grant provider to see where the money's going and what you're actually spending it on. Yeah, it's mainly that, to keep your project focused and not get too over ambitious about what you might achieve.